chosen one. Lock your attention on this message right now. Not tomorrow, not in 5 minutes, right now. That restless feeling you have been carrying, the one that makes you want to share everything you are feeling with someone who will understand, silence it. What I am about to tell you is not for everyone. Heaven did not send this for everyone. The enemy has been working overtime this week for one reason, and one reason only. He saw this moment coming before you did. He saw the message that was being prepared for you, and he has spent the last 72 hours trying to drown it out with noise, with distraction, with people who keep pulling your attention in every direction except inward. It all ends here. The confusion, the spiritual static, the feeling that you are supposed to be receiving something, but you cannot quite hear it. It ends in the next few minutes. But here is what you need to understand. It is not ending because you stumbled onto the right video. It is ending because you were assigned to find it. Think back to that moment this week when you almost shared something sacred. Maybe you typed it out. Maybe you almost called someone. Maybe you were on the edge of telling someone what you have been feeling, what you have been sensing in your spirit. But something stopped you. You pulled back. You kept it quiet. You did not know it then, but that restraint was not hesitation, that was obedience. That was the first seal. You did not find this recording by accident. The algorithm did not bring you here. The Holy Spirit did. This is a divine appointment that was scheduled before the foundations of the earth were laid, and the reason it was kept quiet, the reason heaven has been shielding this message, is because what is being released here is targeted. It is surgical. It is for you and only for you. Stay until the very last second, because in the next few minutes, I am going to give you the exact decree that explains why heaven has been moving in silence on your behalf. I am going to walk you through the specific moment this week where you unknowingly activated a protection over your assignment. And at the end, I am going to seal this with a declaration that closes every unauthorized mouth that has been speaking over your destiny. Do not share this yet. Do not call someone over. Do not pause it to explain it to someone in the room. Your future self is asking you to receive this alone first. If you leave before the end, you risk walking out of the courtroom before the verdict is read in your favor. I know what the last 72 hours have felt like. The atmosphere has not just been unusual, it has been deliberate. Heavy in a way that felt personal, like the pressure was being applied specifically to you and not to the people around you. Maybe you noticed that the people closest to you seem unbothered while you have been carrying something you cannot name. Maybe you found yourself pulling away from conversations, from noise, from spaces that used to feel comfortable, because something in your spirit has been signaling that this is not the season for everything to be visible. Or maybe you woke up at 3:00 inches the morning this week with a clarity so sharp it startled you, a thought or a knowing that arrived fully formed, and the first thing your mind wanted to do was reach for your phone and tell someone, but something held you back. You feel set apart, not rejected, not forgotten, set apart, like you are being held in a specific position for a specific moment that has not fully arrived yet. And in that holding space, the enemy has been whispering a very specific lie. Listen to your own thoughts for a moment. He has been telling you that the silence is abandonment. He has been replaying that moment when you pulled back, when you stayed quiet, when you did not fight for your place at the table, and he has been narrating it as failure. He has been telling you that chosen people do not hide, that if God was really moving on your behalf, the evidence would be visible by now, that your silence is actually isolation, and the breakthrough you are waiting for has already passed you by. The accuser is telling you that you misread the instruction. He is telling you that this season of stillness is not strategy, it is stagnation. But I need you to hear what the scripture actually says about this moment. Psalm 91:1 says, "He who dwells in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. Listen to that promise carefully. The secret place. Heaven does not hide its chosen ones because they are forgotten. Heaven conceals its chosen ones because the shadow of the Almighty is not a public space. Protection at this level requires positioning, and positioning at this level requires quiet. The enemy cannot assign what he cannot locate. The reason your next chapter has not been visible to the people around you is because God has been deliberately keeping it out of the enemy's field of vision. Your silence this week was not weakness. It was camouflage. You are not in hiding because you lost. You are in the secret place because you are being covered. The heaviness you have been feeling is not the weight of delay. It is the weight of preparation. It is the pressure of something enormous being loaded into position directly above your life. And the reason it feels like waiting is because what is coming requires alignment before it is released. You did not miss your window. You are standing inside it. That moment when you stayed quiet instead of speaking, when you held back instead of reacting, when you chose stillness over exposure, that was not a mistake. That was the act that placed you directly under the shadow. That was the moment your coordinates were confirmed in the spirit. Keep it quiet a little while longer. The decree is almost ready. Heaven sent this for you. What you're carrying right now is not ordinary weight. It's the kind of heaviness that doesn't come from failure. It comes from knowing. Knowing that something in you is different. Knowing that your life has never quite fit the mold others wanted to press you into. Knowing that the pain you've walked through wasn't random, wasn't punishment, wasn't bad luck. It was preparation. And preparation always costs something. Some messages don't just inform, they activate. If something stirred deep in your spirit just now, you may be ready to receive the Chosen One's blueprint. This sacred guide reveals the 8 divine patterns behind your calling, your suffering, and your destiny. It also comes with the full audiobook, so you can absorb it during prayer, rest, or quiet moments with God. And for those called to speak His truth, you'll also receive Activating Your Prophet Mantle, a powerful bonus ebook for those carrying a prophetic assignment. The link is in the first pinned comment, but only for a limited time. Now let's go deeper, because this is where most people stop receiving and start defending. The hidden barrier that keeps chosen people stuck isn't doubt. It isn't the enemy. It isn't even the wounds from the people who betrayed them. The real barrier is this: you have been trying to make sense of a divine assignment using human logic. And those two systems were never designed to run on the same frequency. Imagine trying to run a sophisticated quantum computer using the operational language of an abacus. It's not just inefficient, it's fundamentally incompatible. Human logic demands linear progression, visible cause and effect, and predictable outcomes. It seeks to quantify, categorize, and control. But divine assignments often unfold in paradox, non-linearity, and require a radical trust in the unseen. They operate on a spiritual frequency that transcends rational understanding, often calling us to move in ways that defy conventional wisdom or even personal comfort. This clash between the finite, earthly mind and the infinite, celestial blueprint creates a profound friction, a constant internal argument that keeps many chosen ones tethered to confusion, unable to fully step into the flow of God's will. It's like trying to interpret a symphony with only the understanding of a single note. The depth, the harmony, the timing, the emotional resonance, all are lost in the attempt to force it into a smaller, more digestible framework. Your soul knows this dissonance, and it manifests as a quiet agitation, a persistent feeling that something isn't quite right, even when everything looks good on paper. Think about Moses, 40 years in the wilderness, not because God forgot him, not because he wasn't gifted enough, but because the version of Moses that Egypt built could not carry what God was preparing to release through him. The palace had given him power, prestige, and education in all the wisdom of the Egyptians. Acts 7:22. But it had also given him a rigid framework for how power was supposed to look, how leadership operated, and what true strength entailed. This was a man accustomed to the grandeur of Pharaoh's court, steeped in worldly influence, possibly even envisioning himself as a deliverer through human might. But God doesn't work within human frameworks. He dismantles them. He had to strip away the princely robes, the military strategies, the self-reliance that Egyptian culture had cultivated. The wilderness wasn't Moses' punishment, it was his deprogramming. It was a crucible where the dross of worldly ambition and self-importance was burned away, leaving behind a humble shepherd. It was in the barren expanse of Midian, tending sheep, learning patience and dependence on God for daily provision, that Moses became pliable enough, meek enough, to carry the immense weight of leading millions through a desert. It was there that his identity was reshaped from a would-be Egyptian savior to a divine vessel. And if your life has felt like a wilderness lately, if you find yourself stripped of familiar comforts, roles, or relationships, I need you to hear this clearly. You are not being abandoned. You are not being penalized. You are being deprogrammed. You are being prepared for a purpose far grander than any human institution could have ever designed for you. A purpose that demands a different kind of strength, a deeper kind of trust, and a purer vessel. But here's where it goes deeper. It's not just about what God is removing, it's about what He's revealing in the removal. When everything that made you feel significant is stripped away, the titles, the accolades, the relationships you once leaned on, the plans you were absolutely certain about, what remains is the truest, most authentic version of you. This is the bedrock of your spiritual identity, unburdened by external validation or societal expectations. This is the version that has been buried deep under layers of performance, masked by people-pleasing tendencies, and hardened by survival instincts honed in past traumas. This raw, exposed, yet incredibly resilient version is exactly who God has been patiently waiting to work with. It's like an archaeologist meticulously clearing away centuries of earth and debris to unveil a priceless, ancient artifact, the real you, untouched by the shifting sands of time or the superficial markings of the world. Most people never meet this profound, unvarnished version of themselves because they never stop running long enough to let the stripping happen. They constantly seek new distractions, new accolades, new roles to fill the void, rather than allowing the necessary emptiness to reveal the sacred space within, where their true calling resides. This process, though often painful, is an invitation to inhabit your authentic self, to stand fully in the divine design that has always been your core, waiting to be rediscovered. And this leads us to something most people miss entirely, a truth that, once understood, can bring profound peace to past seasons of confusion. The isolation you've experienced, the desolate seasons where you felt invisible, where your circle inexplicably shrank, where people you loved either left your life or changed in ways that made connection impossible. That isolation was not merely a wound, it was a strategic, divinely erected wall. And God built it, not to punish you, not to condemn you to loneliness, but to protect the nascent frequency of what He was diligently building inside you. Consider it an incubation chamber, a sacred space shielded from external noise and spiritual static. Because certain conversations, certain environments, certain connections, no matter how well-intentioned or familiar, carry a spiritual charge, a vibration that interrupts the pure divine signal God is transmitting to you. When God is recalibrating a life for a higher assignment, He often has to remove the interference first, much like a radio engineer clearing static to bring in a clear broadcast. The loneliness you felt, that profound sense of aloneness, was often the sound of God clearing the room. He was creating a holy solitude, a consecrated space where your spirit could be retuned, where delicate seeds of destiny could sprout without being trampled by the demands or distractions of the world. It was a necessary separation, a setting apart, so that the voice of heaven could become the loudest, clearest signal in your life, preparing you for what only you, in this state of divine refinement, could carry. What's coming next will likely shift the way you've been reading your entire past. Stay with me, because this is the part that changes how you see every season you've already survived, turning confusion into confirmation and pain into purpose. There's a pattern that follows chosen people that almost no one talks about. It's the pattern of premature attack. This isn't just random bad luck, it's a spiritual signature. Before Joseph could even fully grasp the meaning of his prophetic dreams, the enemy was already working through the jealousy in his own household, leading to betrayal and slavery. The spiritual significance of his future leadership was already perceived by dark forces, manifesting through the very people closest to him. Before David could be anointed king, before he even picked up a sling against Goliath, he had already been overlooked and dismissed by his own father, Jesse, who deemed him too young, too insignificant to be considered by Samuel. Even before Jeremiah could utter his first prophecy, God told him directly in Jeremiah 1-5, "Before I formed you in the womb I knew you, before you were born I set you apart. I appointed you as a prophet to the nations." That's not just encouragement, it's a profound warning, a declaration that the assignment came first, and with it, the opposition. If you have faced attacks that seem to come out of nowhere, from people who had no logical reason to target you, from systems that moved against you before you even had time to rise or understand your own potential, that was not coincidence. That was the enemy, a spiritual intelligence, responding to an assignment he could already perceive, a destiny he could already see taking shape in the spirit realm, even when you yourself were still unaware of its full scope. It's a testament to the magnitude of what God placed within you, a sign that your calling is too significant to go unchallenged. But let me challenge you with something right here, because recognizing the pattern of premature attack is only the first step. The danger isn't just surviving the attack. The deeper danger is what the attack teaches you about yourself, and how those lessons subtly begin to redefine your identity. Every chosen person who was ever knocked down, betrayed, or unjustly targeted carries a risk of building their identity around the hit. You begin to define yourself not by what you were divinely made for, but by what happened to you. This can lead to a pervasive expectation of rejection, causing you to unconsciously pre-reject yourself before anyone else has the chance. You learn to expect failure, so you subtly self-sabotage right at the edge of breakthrough, creating a comfortable, albeit painful, familiarity with disappointment. You don't even realize you're doing it, because by then, the pattern feels less like a wound and more like wisdom. It feels like a necessary strategy for protecting yourself, for bracing against the inevitable next blow. But it's not protection. It's an insidious agreement with the enemy's narrative, a subconscious pact that binds you to a limited future. And that agreement, though invisible, is the real chain that keeps you from fully manifesting your divine potential, turning your past suffering into a self-imposed prison rather than a profound qualification. It's a quiet surrender to a lie masquerading as prudence. Think of Elijah sitting under the juniper tree after one of the greatest supernatural victories in all of Scripture. He had just faced down 450 prophets of Baal on Mount Carmel, called down fire from heaven, and witnessed the undeniable, overwhelming power of God move through him with stunning authority. 1 Kings 18. He was a vessel of unprecedented divine might. And yet, in the very next moment, one threatening message from Jezebel, a woman he had not even met, sent him running into the wilderness, asking God to take his life. 1 Kings 19. How does a man who just called down fire from heaven collapse under the voice of one woman? Because the victory, though magnificent, didn't heal the deep-seated wound. The miracle didn't touch the place inside him that still believed he was ultimately alone, that the battle was too large for him, that he had somehow reached his absolute limit. His external triumph did not automatically address his internal exhaustion and sense of isolation. And here's the crucial part. God didn't rebuke him. God didn't criticize his lack of faith. Instead, God fed him. God let him sleep. God met him in the stillness of his despair and gently, compassionately said, "The journey is too great for times you." Not, "You are too small for the journey." The journey is too great for you to carry without times, me. And that distinction, that is everything. That single, profound truth reframes every struggle, every moment of weakness, every feeling of being overwhelmed. Because the next layer of your transformation, the one that truly unlocks your destiny, isn't about trying harder. It isn't about more discipline, more intense prayer, or more relentless striving in your own strength. Such efforts, while valuable in their place, often stem from that old survival mode mentality. Instead, this next layer is about releasing the version of strength that was built in survival mode, the independent, self-sufficient, I can do it all myself persona, and learning to carry divine weight differently. It's a profound shift from human exertion to divine impartation, from striving to yielding, from self-reliance to God-reliance. It's recognizing that the weight of your calling is not meant to be shouldered by your finite human capacity alone, but is designed to flow through you as an extension of God's infinite power. It's about letting go of the burden of proving yourself worthy and stepping into the grace of being deemed capable by heaven. Stay with me, because what I'm about to share next is the part that breaks the cycle for good, the profound truth that dismantles the old patterns and ushers in a new era of spiritual freedom and empowerment. There is a kind of strength that, on the surface, looks holy, looks resilient, looks like unwavering faith, but is actually rooted in deep-seated fear. It's the strength that fiercely declares, "I don't need anyone." It's the silent fortitude that prevents you from being truly vulnerable with God, from crying out honestly in your moments of deepest weariness, from admitting that you are tired in a way that transcends mere physical exhaustion. On the outside, it projects an image of unwavering faith and self-sufficiency, but underneath it, there often lies an orphan spirit, a wounded part of your soul that learned early in life that needing things was dangerous, that asking for help brought rejection, and that any form of vulnerability was a profound liability. And so, you learned to be strong. You learned to perform wholeness, to project an image of having it all together, while bleeding internally from unaddressed wounds. You mastered the art of building intricate walls around your heart, believing they offered protection from future pain. And God, in His immense grace and boundless compassion, has been gentle with you in that. He understands the genesis of those walls. But there is an undeniable ceiling on that kind of life, a limit to how far you can truly go. You cannot step into the full, magnificent weight of your divine calling while half of your soul is still locked behind those formidable walls you painstakingly built to survive your past. True divine power flows through an open, surrendered, and vulnerable heart, not one armored against love and help. It's time to realize that the very strength you cultivated to protect yourself is now the barrier preventing your full ascension. The prophet Isaiah didn't deliver his famous soaring declaration, "They shall mount up with wings as eagles. They shall run and not be weary. They shall walk and not faint." Isaiah 40-31, to people who were comfortable, prosperous, or full of self-confidence. On the contrary, He gave it to a people who were exhausted, displaced, in Babylonian exile, utterly disheartened, and had begun to quietly wonder if God had utterly forgotten his covenant promises to them. They were at the absolute end of their human capacity. When he said, "Have you not known? Have you not heard?" It wasn't a question of condemnation, but a profound spiritual wake-up call, as if to say, the answer, the divine power, the eternal truth, has been available this whole time, etched into the very fabric of creation and your spiritual history. But receiving it, truly apprehending and embodying it, requires something profound. It requires the willingness to wait, not passive waiting, the kind born of resignation or despair. Not waiting as a stagnant state of inaction. This is waiting as active alignment. It's a conscious, intentional positioning of yourself under the very current of heaven, diligently listening, watching, praying, and discerning until you feel that divine current begin to move, and then you move with it. It's like a seasoned sailor trimming their sails, not idly drifting, but adjusting, anticipating, and collaborating with the wind to propel them forward. It is a dynamic posture of spiritual readiness, a profound trust that even in stillness, God is at work, strengthening, preparing, and ordering your steps for the precise moment of breakthrough. But underneath even that powerful truth is another one, a hidden layer that most people never quite reach, a quiet battle fought in the unseen chambers of the heart. Here's the part you probably didn't expect, the one that truly unlocks the deeper struggle. The thing that has most consistently delayed your breakthrough isn't solely the enemy's resistance, as real as that opposition is. It isn't simply the weight of your past failures or shortcomings. It isn't even exclusively the unhealed wounds that still ache, as profound as those scars may be. It is, at its core, the persistent, insidious fact that a part of you is still silently negotiating your own worthiness. You are still asking, quietly, in the back alleys of your spirit, in the deepest recesses of your soul, am I actually chosen? Or have I just been telling myself that to survive? Is this calling real, or a convenient narrative I've constructed to make sense of my pain? And because that fundamental question never gets answered directly, definitively, and embraced fully at the deepest spiritual level, it subtly gets answered by behavior. It manifests as shrinking away from opportunities, as almost arriving at the precipice of a breakthrough, only to find a subtle, self-invented reason to pull back. It shows up as being incredibly faithful and devoted in private moments with God, but becoming terrified of being visible, of being exposed in public spaces. It's the profound disconnect of knowing the calling, feeling its weight and truth, and yet somehow, in 1,000 small ways, never quite fully saying an unapologetic yes to it, never fully inhabiting the mantle you were designed to wear. This internal negotiation creates a spiritual tether, holding you back from the very freedom you desperately seek. This is precisely what God was addressing, with incredible grace and profound insight, when he spoke to Gideon through the angel of the Lord and called him a mighty man of valor, while Gideon was literally hiding in a winepress, timidly threshing wheat, doing his work in secret to avoid detection by the Midianites. Judges 6:11, 1-2. God wasn't calling Gideon what Gideon was times in that moment, according to his current circumstances, his self-perception, or his fear-driven behavior. He was calling Gideon what God had already times decided times he was, what God had already purposed him to be. Heaven doesn't call you by your current condition, your limitations, or your past failures. Heaven calls you by your completed assignment, by the glorious, fully realized version of you that exists in the mind of God. The pivotal question for you then is whether you will finally stop arguing with the name God is already using for you. Will you lay down the flimsy, self-constructed identity born of fear and human opinion, and instead embrace the powerful, divinely ordained identity that heaven has already declared over your life? Will you accept the truth that God sees you not as you are, but as you are destined to be, and step into that prophetic declaration with unwavering faith? And this is the final, most transformative shift. The one that makes every preceding revelation, every challenging season, every moment of confusion finally click into place and make profound sense. Your calling is not something you achieve through sheer willpower, tireless effort, or meticulous planning. It is something far more profound. It is something you surrender to. Every chosen person who ever truly walked in the fullness of their divine assignment, who embodied their destiny and impacted generations, didn't get there by becoming more disciplined, more perfect, or more powerful in themselves. They got there by finally, absolutely, and irrevocably agreeing with what heaven declared over them before the foundations of the world were even laid. Agreeing that the suffering wasn't wasted, wasn't purposeless, but was a sacred crucible that forged resilience, wisdom, and empathy within their spirit. Agreeing that the delay, though agonizing, was not a denial but a divine direction, a necessary pause for deeper preparation, recalibration, or the perfect alignment of circumstances. And perhaps most powerfully, agreeing that the version of you that was refined, purified, and forged in the very fires of adversity is not damaged, is not broken beyond repair. It is, in fact, exquisitely qualified. This agreement is the ultimate act of faith, a profound yes to God's master plan for your life, embracing every chapter, every challenge, and every revelation as essential components of your magnificent unfolding. Tonight, before you sleep, as you reflect on these truths, place your hand on your heart and declare this with me, letting these words resonate in the deepest chambers of your spirit. I release the need to understand every season I've survived, trusting that divine wisdom has orchestrated it all. I release the labels, the judgments, and the narratives that were never mine to carry, shedding the weight of external expectations. I release the fear that disguised itself as practical wisdom and the silence that masqueraded as strength, embracing true vulnerability and dependence on God. I am not behind. I am not forgotten. I am not too broken, too late, or too far gone for the call of heaven. I am being made, right now, in this very moment, for something that precisely requires exactly what I've been through, every wound and every victory. I receive the fullness of my assignment with an open heart and a ready spirit. I receive the courage to say an unequivocal yes to what heaven has already declared over my life, without reservation or doubt. I walk forward knowing, with every fiber of my being, that I am seen, I am chosen, and the calling on my life is not mine to question or negotiate, only mine to carry. And starting today, with divine grace as my strength, I carry it. If this message confirmed what your spirit has been trying to tell you, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Leave a comment with the word chosen, so I know who this reached. And if you want to go deeper into everything we just walked through, the link in the first pinned comment is waiting for you, but only for a limited time. This was not an accident. You were supposed to be here for this.